What is going on, guys? I know it has been forever and I keep getting messages about go back on YouTube. I know I should go back on YouTube, but listen, I'm trying here. I've been getting motivated. So I did a poll on my Instagram. I don't know if you voted, but if you did, the poll was to let me know if you want to see the craziest stories I've had working retail. So I got a good feedback on that. A lot of people wanted to hear or see about what are the craziest stories I've ever had working retail, and let me fucking tell you, if you've ever worked retail, you know there's always these crazy stories that happen. A lot of it is just dumb, a lot of it is just whatever, but you live and you learn from those mistakes, and you learn how to move forward. So, and just as a disclaimer, I am not gonna give any names. I'm not gonna slander their name or whatever. I don't even know their names, to be honest with you. And this has nothing to do with my clients currently, because I did work retail, and now I no longer work retail. I do my own freelance and I do my own thing. So nothing to do with my clients now. I love my clients now. They love me very much. Nothing bad about you guys. This is just my experience when I was first working retail. I think I started working retail when I was 18, or there's a story in there that was when I was 14, 15. But let's begin with a little background behind me, or about me. Makes sense. When I was younger, I thought I wanted to do hair, and I ended up working at a nail salon, that had a hair salon on the side. So I would just go and intern there. That makes sense. I would just go shadow or help out or whatever, just because I wanted to learn. Oh, don't mind me. I did my makeup just for you guys. Yeah, let me begin with that story first, and then eventually I went up the makeup ladder, or I guess the working ladder, I don't know, whatever you want to fucking call it. I went and I did that. Then I went to Sephora. After Sephora, I did a couple of other brands, Mercury, MAC, a privately owned beauty salon for just makeup. Let me begin with the first one, which is the time somebody tried me. Oh my god, yeah. I was working at this nail salon, and oh wait, before I continue, go ahead and make sure you go and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell button somewhere. I don't know, because I forgot how to use YouTube. Just make sure you always stay in touch with me. Go message me on Instagram, but I'll keep trying to be active on YouTube. My Instagram is, I did change it, so it's no longer the same as my YouTube name, my Instagram. So my Instagram name is now Amaly I was about to give you my work email. My Instagram is Amaly, Amaly, last name Dominguez, Dominguez. So at Amaly Dominguez, you go ahead, find me on my pictures, follow me, all that good stuff. All right, so let's get into the video, because I know that's why you guys freaking came here, to know about my crazies. So I used to work at this hair salon or whatever, and it was if you know New York and you know Queens, it was somewhere in Junction. I'm not gonna tell you which salon either. I used to just intern for the lady there. I don't even think they have the same owner anymore, but whatever. It must have been 14, 15. And basically what I would do is I would just shampoo the girls, or I would just watch or clean up after the lady that did the hair, and I would just shadow what a shadow does, what an intern does. So then I remember one time this one lady came in, and she came in with her daughter, being super mean to her daughter. She was screaming at her for no reason. She told her to go get something, and the little girl was just okay, I'm gonna go get it, but she was really mean about it. She was just mean the whole entire time, being those type of people that you look at and they're so fucking mean to their kids, and you're just why? Well, she was being really mean to the little girl. And then I remember there was a couple of clients at the salon, and the lady that I was shadowing for she was oh, I'll be with you right now, just give me a second, let me finish up with this client, and in the meantime she'll take your box braids out, because she had box braids on. So the way that the lady taught me was that you ask how long is your hair, and if your hair is a certain length, if your hair is my length and you have box braids, obviously I'm not gonna cut it. But if you have short hair and you got the box braids, and you got box braids down to your knees, I'm gonna have to cut it, because for me to be doing this So I asked her, I was like, hey, I'm gonna cut it. You know, where is your hair up to? Like, do you think you know? She was like, yeah, I have it short up to here. So I grabbed the hair, because remember the extension was like all the way down to her knees. So I grabbed the hair and I snipped right here to save some time. And she turns around, this lady, and she goes, what the fuck did you just do? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the box braids out. And she's like, you fucking cut my hair, you fucking bitch, cursing me out, saying all these mean things to me. And this is like my first experience dealing with somebody like customer service wise, because I was young. So I was just like sitting there watching her like scream at me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. All I did was say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to cry because it was so embarrassing. Everybody was watching me, and I'm just like, oh my fucking God. So she's screaming at me, and then the lady's like, the one I was working for, she's like, you know, people do this all the time because they want to get it free. And I remember, this is like a big important part. So I had, how did I do this? Oh, I had taken the ones out in the front. I remember I had taken the ones out in the front. So, because they weren't as long, I think. I forgot, damn it. I had taken out the ones in the front, and I think I was taking, I had taken out the ones in the front, and it was like taking forever because they were so long. So I already knew her hair was like this short. So I remember that once it got to the back, that's when I was like, hey, I'm gonna cut it, because the lady, whatever, had told me. So the lady goes, people do this shit all the time. They just want to get shit done for free or want to get a discount, so don't even worry about it. I'm like, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I'm ruining business for you. I'm so sorry. And she's like, don't even worry about it. Like, it's fine. Shit happens all the time. So she was acting very nonchalant about it. So then I go back, and the lady's still screaming at me. The customer still screaming at me. And then this is the part I will never forget. Like, I cannot believe somebody said this to me. She's screaming at me, yelling at me, and then she goes, I'm gonna fucking call ISIS and I'm gonna deport your ass. When she said that to me, I was like, that hurt, because I have family members, or my family has came from a different country, and like, they have their papers now, but it's like, why would you fucking even say that? Like, how dare you even say anything like that? That has nothing that I did had anything to do with people getting deported. So she told me I was gonna get deported, and I looked at her and I was just like, all right, sis want to catch these hands. I looked at her and I was like, well, I was born here, so you're not gonna deport anybody. And then she's like, I'm gonna deport your whole family. I'm gonna call right now. I'm gonna call 911. I'm looking at her, I'm like, sis, you're really doing the most. And then when the lady, the hairstylist, she came out, she's like, I'm so sorry about that. I'll give you a discount. She's like, oh, okay. So I know she did all that shit just to fucking get a discount because she's a broke bitch. Anyways, this happened years ago. This happened over 10 years ago. That was one of the most frightening experiences I've ever had in customer service. But I learned to always ask questions from then on. I mean, like, and be very clear. Like, I remember telling her, I was like, I'm gonna cut the hair up to here, and she wasn't even paying. She was probably just so angry about life that she wasn't paying attention to me. So always be clear, always wait for a response whenever you're doing customer service. Another experience I had was when I was working at Sephora. This is when I started like my makeup career, kind of, because that was like the first store I've actually worked at that had to do anything to do with makeup. I was just like so happy to work there, and this is a while ago, so I know things probably have changed from when I used to work there, but I'm gonna tell you guys what happened anyways. At Sephora, you know, you can always book like makeup appointments. You know, you book, like, if you have prom, you know, you book and you have to pay, I think you have to buy $50 or $60 or more. I think it was $60 at the time. I don't know. You gotta buy a certain amount, and then, you know, basically sell the product to the customer, and then, you know, you get the makeup for free. So I remember it was prom season, and this little girl came in. She came in and she's like, it's my prom, and I'm like, okay, you know, it's prom season, whatever. I know what it's like. Everybody's excited because it's fucking prom. When you're a 17, 16-year-old girl and you're going to prom, it's like the best night of your life. I just got a notification talking about how we're on lockdown, 11 o'clock p.m. Shit's getting scary, y'all. It's 2020 and we're going through all this craziness. Anyways, back to the story, right? So she comes in and she's like, I want super glam, it's my prom, and I want super glam, I love the glitter, I love the Kim K look, I want a red lip. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm asking her, you know, what is your dress like? I'm sorry. I'm like, what is your dress like? And whatever, she shows me this red dress, I remember that. And she was just like this very, like, I don't know, like, I want to say a little weird, but not really. I don't know, whatever. Something was off about her. So I was like, whatever, let me just try to make her day feel better. I mean, well, not feel better, but let me just like make her day and do her makeup, because I like seeing that. I like doing my customers' makeup or my clients' makeup, and then they look at me and they're like, oh my god, I look so beautiful. Like, that's one of the, like, that's what I strive for, that like look, that feeling, that like happiness after I'm done doing their makeup and they see it. So she tells me exactly what she wants. She wants a shimmery eye, she wants a red lip, she wants this, she wants contour. So I'm like, okay. So I go all in. I'm like doing her face. I'm mad happy. And she's like, I don't want to see it until you're done. Surprise me. I do everything. I do the whole 9 yards. And then I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, she looks so beautiful. Everybody was like, oh, she looks so pretty. She looks so pretty when they were walking by. And then she turns around, look at the mirror, and she's like, I'm thinking, oh shit, she liked this. She's about to tell me how she looks so beautiful. No. She turns around and she's like, I want to talk to my mom. I'm like, okay, did I do something wrong? Do you want me to fix it? She's like, I want my mom. I want my mommy. Mommy. She kept calling her mom. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I already knew she was well, I guess when I met her, I knew she was going to be a little bit of a hassle. Like, she's going to be very needy and like very like privileged. That's what I try to say. She was acting very like snobby the whole time when she was talking to me. So that's why she was fucking weird. She gets her mommy. Her mommy comes and she's like, you look so pretty. She's like, oh, too much makeup. And I'm looking at, like, I'm standing right there, like, talk to me, like, don't ignore me, don't treat me like I don't fucking exist. So I'm like, can I help? She's like, no, I don't want you to do anything, take this off. So do you guys fucking hear that? Those are my fucking neighbors upstairs. Anyway, so then she's like, oh my god, mommy. And then her mom is like, I want to talk to your manager. I was like, oh, I didn't even do anything. So whatever. I get the manager, and then my manager's like, just go to the back. So I go to the back, which is like where the break room is and stuff. And I'm like sitting there worried, like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Like, what if I get in trouble? Like, which I don't understand why I thought that, because you can never get in trouble for doing somebody's makeup. Like, you just did it. They probably just didn't like it. You can't get in trouble for that. And then remember one thing, not everybody, especially if you're working in a retail location, not everybody's gonna like the way you do makeup. That's why it's very hard to do people's makeup in retail locations, because you just get anybody, I mean, as a customer, you just get any makeup artist and you don't really know their work. So it's like, you kind of have to be a little understanding as well if you're like going into a department store or like a makeup store and you're working with somebody. You know, be very specific with what it is that you want, because we don't know what you see here. We can't see it unless you have a picture, then whatever. But my customers now, they know how I do makeup. They see my Instagram, they see my website, they've worked with me before, so they know how I do makeup. So I've never had a complaint as of yet, like in regards to the makeup, because they just know already like my work and how I work. So whatever. So back to the story. My manager comes back out and she's like, this girl is like one of like very needy girl. So then she ends up, she's like, I have to do her makeup because she wiped it all off. Sis wiped it all off. So then I go back out just to be nosy to see like what it is exactly that she freaking wiped off. And literally as I guess as she's done getting her makeup done by somebody else, she was like, I look so beautiful. All she ended up getting was a fucking tinted moisturizer lip gloss, and like you grab your finger and you do this, and that was that. And I'm like, how the fuck is that glam? How is that like a fire red lip? Well, she said I remember she said specifically, I want a red lip. She ended up getting like a pink light gloss. Like, I don't know. And like, if you're a mom and you're dropping off your kid, like you should talk to the makeup artist. Like, listen, my daughter says she wants this, but I know her style is a little like, you know, I don't know. She just left her there. And I guess what I learned from that was that although people are gonna be like, oh, surprise me, whatever, it's just like, you know, I just want to check in with you. I want you to like let me know, is this looking good to you so far? What do you think? If, you know, always like check in with them. And also with situations like that, when you're already noticing somebody's a little bit like being rude to you or being like snotty with you or snobby, always just say, hey, really quick, I have to go get something. You go and you go speak to a manager and you say, hey, listen, the person I'm working with, like, she's a little, you know, needs a little more attention than normal, so I want to let you know, like, just in case this is happening, or do you recommend I do something about it? They'll always help you out because they have more experience, obviously. So yeah, that was a story with that. Another story that happened with not Mac, Sephora. I totally forgot about this and I almost didn't say it. I wanted to this girl. I wanted to this girl, because she was really trying me. Like, she really tried me. So, you know, when you go into Sephora, it's always about, like, you get overwhelmed. I get it. People get overwhelmed because there's so much shit there. But this specific person, and people do this all the time. I'm sorry, I just keep bouncing around. People do this all the time where they walk in and they feel like they're too embarrassed to ask you for a sample or to try something out because they feel you're gonna like be mean to them. I mean, some people are kind of mean. Like, when I go into Sephora's personally now, like, they're all like, I'm kind of like worry about like asking them a question, because every time I do, it's like they either run away or they give me attitude. So I remember one time I asked this one girl, like, can you help me match a Fenty foundation? At that time I wasn't working anymore at Sephora, so when I asked for the Fenty foundation, I was like, which one do you think I should get? And I remember we swatched the colors and I'm like, okay, this is too white, whatever. And as a person that works there, you should know how the products are, especially a very popular product. Like, you should know if this oxidized or if it's a neutral tone, if it's a, you call yourself a makeup artist and you want to walk around with that brush, but you better know how to work with your colors. So I remember I had asked her, I was like, do you think like, what do you think I should get? She's like, I don't know, I already told you the colors you should get and you could do whatever you want. This is why people, I guess, treat Sephora employees a certain way, but I was never like that. My customer service was never like that. I always like thought about the customer first, and I always try to make them feel better. I always was really, really nice to everybody, always, because what the fuck do you get out of being mean to people? You're mad at your own life? Like, no, be nice to people. I remember this one time, this one girl, and back to what I was saying, was that people always feel the need, like, they have to kind of lie to you to get a sample. Like, they're too embarrassed to get a sample, so they'll play that game, like, I'm looking for a foundation and like I want to buy it, but like I just want to see which one first. Which one would you recommend? When you recommend them a thing, they're like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna get it, but actually, you know, I kind of want a sample, and there's no problem with that. But if you already know a specific foundation you want, don't say, what do you think about this foundation? Like, should I get it? And then you say, yeah, sure. And, okay, I'm gonna buy it, but can I get a sample? Like, whatever. I don't get it, but whatever. So this ended up happening to me. They're like, she came in with her friend. She must have been like her early, maybe she was like 19, 20. And she comes in with her friend and she's like, you know, I really heard good things about this foundation, and like, I kind of want to try it out. Can we look at it? So I was like, yeah, of course, let's go look at it. So I'm showing her, we're color matching her, and then she goes, oh my god, it's so pretty. Okay, you know, usually if somebody likes it and you ask about it, they're gonna want to buy it. But she happened to want to get a sample, so she's like, actually, can I just get a sample? I'm like, sure. And if you go to Sephora, you know that whenever you get a sample, you get, like, this is a MAC sample from like when I used to work there, but like whenever you get a sample, the Sephora samples are usually a little bit smaller than this. Like, Sephora made their sample jars, I guess, the size of like to try it one time or maybe even up to 2 times. But I always had my managers specify to me, always give 1 sample of the foundation. You kind of want to give, they'll show you how to make a sample of whatever it is that they want. You can't make samples out of anything that has like a wand in it, you know, anything that's liquid you can squeeze out, you can, or pour in. You can make a sample out of that, but anything else you can't. So they also were very specific as to you can only give 1 sample per product. So I remember people getting in trouble for making multiple samples, whatever. So then I never wanted to get in trouble. I didn't want to deal with getting written up over a fucking sample. So I remember this girl, she's like, I want a sample. I'm like, okay. And another thing people would always do at Sephora is when you're pouring the sample, they're like, okay, can you put more? Can you pour more? And it's like, how much more do you want me to put? It's gonna go over the thing. Like, you So she was doing that. She was like staring at me pour the sample, and that makes me so uncomfortable. Like, you're way too close to me. Like, let me just do what I gotta do. I guess they probably think that you're not gonna pour as much, you're gonna skimp out on it, but whatever. And then you have to also write on the little baggie. I think they give you a box now, but in the bag I would write like what the sample was or whatever. So I give her the sample, and this is her. She looks at the sample. She's like, and she starts laughing. She goes, and I'm looking at her like, did I say something funny? And she goes, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Put it on my eye? And she throws it at me. She literally threw it at me. And I'm like, cash me outside. How about that? Sis was wildin'. Like, I can't believe she just threw something at me. At that point, it's like, is that considered assault? Like, she literally threw something at me. So I looked at her and I was like, sweetie, if you put that in your eye, you're gonna get an eye infection. So I don't recommend you do that. And I walked away and I left because I wasn't about to feed into her energy and start fighting with her and argue with her. So she got mad and she's like she was appalled that I actually talked back to her. She was like, don't freaking throw something at me and be a smart ass bitch and expect me to be like, oh my god. No, you're gonna be rude. Like, don't do that. And I remember I told my manager about it. They were like, oh, you know, that happens. One time I got punched in the face. What do you mean you got punched in the face? Like, what the fuck? I don't want to work at a place like this. So that's what type of customers are always coming in and doing. Like, that's crazy. Thank God nothing like that ever happened to me again. But that was one of the crazy stories that I ever had at Sephora happen to me. At MAC, I had a couple of crazies, but like, I can't really remember. I just always know, like, I knew that something was always like happening there. So I don't remember detail by detail because I don't know why I mentally blocked it out. But I always remember people always coming up to me so when you work at a counter store, like at a counter or at a department store. I happen to work at a counter in a department store. I worked at MAC, and I guess like in a counter space, you kind of depend on those appointments or like, you know, getting that one-on-one with the person. So a lot of the business depends on like how much you sell and also having a consultation with them and actually selling them the product. And the place where I actually worked at, it was mostly locals who lived there. So it wasn't like that would go shop there. It wasn't like a Herald Square, MAC, where everybody, all the tourists are there buying stuff. Like, people who would go and shop where I work were just locals, and you know, you had the opportunity to be more like one-on-one and have more of that intimate one-on-one conversation, like about makeup, and you get to sit them down or whatever. But you're supposed to read their body language, and that's what I learned working at MAC, like learning their body language and how to read. And I guess because at the end of the day, you're not here to do makeup for free and to do, you know, to have fun. You're here to run a business, although it's not yours, but you're running somebody else's business. You gotta make money. That's what retail is about. So people would always come in and would always like say, kind of trying to get a free makeover, like, oh, what about a little bit of blush, what about a little bit of this, what about, can you do it for me, can you do, and you would end up sitting there doing a whole entire fucking makeup look. So I remember this one time, the first time it's ever happened to me. I remember this lady came in, and I've never seen her before. Usually you're used to your customers, but maybe, you know, she came from a different location or area or whatever. She comes in and she's like, hey, I wanted to like get new makeup. I'm in the search for a whole new makeup thing that I have at, like, you know, that I don't have new makeup at home. Everything I want to get rid of, it's all expired. I want to get new makeup. So I was like, ding, 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 ding. Okay, I'm about to make money. I'm about to make my goal today because this lady wants a whole new like makeup set. So I started asking her questions about her skin. I started asking her questions about what she's looking for, what type of makeup she likes, and blah 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 blah, all the retail questions that you're supposed to ask. So I remember we started off with her foundation, and then she was like, oh, and like, what do you think about a brow pencil? Like, what do you think about like mascara? And I was like, oh my god, yeah. I was telling her like everything in the book, and she was like feeding into it, like, yeah. But then I was also saying, hey, do you want it? She's like, yeah, just put it in the register and I'll purchase everything you use on me. So then I'm like, oh my god, like, this is so good. I'm so glad I got this client. So then I'm doing her lips, I do her whole face. And then she gets up, she looks at it, she's like, oh my god, I love this. I'm gonna go look at it outside, but you know, I'm gonna come back another day and get my and purchase all the makeup. I sat there and I was like, I stood there and I was like, this lady finessed me. She said she was gonna buy everything and she fucking finessed me. So from that, the moral of the story is you want to learn people's body language. And then this is when I learned how to manage situations like that. So whenever somebody's like, oh, and what about this and what about that, and this is when you tell them, hey, listen, we actually offer a service where we do your whole face while we explain how you can do it at home as well, but it's a minimum $60 purchase. Would you like to try that? Usually if they actually do want to like buy makeup, they're like, oh yeah, you know what, I get 3 things at $60, like yeah, sure, whatever, just show me like what it is. And then the people, because I ended up doing this to them after, like to the people that would try to do this to me, after you would tell them like, oh, it's a $60, they'd be like, oh, I don't, okay, bye, and they leave. So that's how you know somebody was trying to just get their makeup done for free, because they know that counters like they do makeup for free just because they want to get sales, and they know that you go into Macy's, you go into Bloomingdale's, you go into a department store, and you already know like they're looking to do somebody's makeup because they want to sell you the stuff. So I remember I told my manager that, they were like, you cannot, you have to be smarter than that, you know, read them, and then if they keep saying, oh no, but like I don't want to buy that much, just say, okay, sure, so let me give you a couple of brushes, and you know, we could try it together, and you can, you know, do one side, I'll do one side, you know, there's not that many people here, so you know, let's come to a mirror, let's get a blush and a thing, so I'm gonna do one side, you do it like this, and then, you know, so the person will do their own thing, and then you would do half a face, and then they would do the rest of the face. Most of the times they didn't really even want to do that because they really never even wanted to buy makeup, they just wanted you to do the makeup for free. But sometimes they would actually do it, and sometimes they would buy stuff, sometimes they wouldn't. Just like, oh, okay, at least you taught them something, you know. But, and this is not to bash people or anything like that, but like if you go into a store like that, especially MAC, knowing that there's always people like coming to like get stuff, and there was always people in there, like don't waste somebody's time. Like just say, hey, listen, I want to learn how to do my makeup, but I don't really want to break the bank, like can you pick out some things for me, and you tell me like what you recommend and show me. But don't sit there and try to finesse people like, oh yeah, I'll do my whole makeup for free, and then leave, because at the end of the day, like this person's paying attention to you because you're telling them that you're gonna buy this stuff, and then there's people that actually want to buy things that aren't getting attention because of whatever. I mean, it sounds kind of mean, but at the same time you also got to think about it in a standpoint, like a perspective of like a business perspective. Like, you know, if you had your own business and your customers, I mean your employee is focusing on somebody who's not going to spend anything versus there's people that actually need to buy things, like you're gonna want that person to get help, the person that wants to, you know, that wants to buy things. And everybody deserves the same amount of help, but at the same time a little bit more help for the people that are actually trying to buy stuff. So whatever, that's just a retail standpoint. That's another one. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed my little stories. If I think of more, I will, like, I guess, talk about it or make another video. If you did like enjoy this video, you think it was funny, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't think it was funny, just don't even like do anything, just leave it, but if you do want more content, just like comment down below like what it is that you want to see, what it is that you want me to, what looks do you want to see, what looks do you want me to teach you, what do you want me to talk about, because I could do these story times with you guys. It was actually kind of fun. It was fun reminiscing like all the crazy stuff that happened to me. Also, don't forget, today is June 1st, so we are hosting a giveaway. Me and Sasha are hosting a giveaway. We're doing an international giveaway and a US giveaway. So if you go on my Instagram, you'll see 2 pictures of the giveaway, so go ahead and take a look at that. The giveaway is ending June 26th, so you want to make sure you put in your entries before that date. I was actually also thinking about making a video of how to be a pro MUA. What do you guys think about that? Tell me, do you guys want to see it? If you do, make sure you comment down below. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe, like, share with your friends, and go and follow me on Instagram because I definitely want to talk to you. I definitely want to interact with you. I definitely want to see your posts. I definitely want to okay. Enough is enough. Thank you guys again. See you next time.